Hey guys from YouTube land. Today I'm working on my 2015 Chrysler Town Country LX minivan. Noticed we just bought this thing, got to looking up under it prior to the purchase, and I noticed I had some transmission fluid leaking. I don't know if you guys can see that. Put the light in there. We have fluid on top of the transmission. And also, it's wet down here. So, got to investigate it a little bit, trying to figure out what was wrong. Naturally, I thought it was one of the pans leaking. It doesn't appear to be that after all. Look up here. Get that to focus. That's the transmission cooler lines. They're both wet. They shouldn't be. And I believe that's the source of a majority of any kind of leak I've got going on with this vehicle. It only has 119,000 miles on it. The oil pan dry as a bone. So you can look, it's been doing it for a while. You can look back through there. So we'll be addressing that part today, and then I'll also probably do a separate video. But I'm gonna drop the transmission pan and change the filter. And slightly overfilled, so that's one of the reasons I'm addressing that. These folks probably knew they had a leak, took it to their local mechanic, and he probably filled it up for them. So I'm going to address that and then clean everything off and see if I have any leaks anywhere else. So get to what I go through on the procedure on this. First off, you have to take this piece off, which it actually goes across here to here. Well, if you look at the pattern of this, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think you've got a total of 10 bolts on this. And once you get it pulled off, you can kind of move the radiator around a little bit to where you can get a little more access. I've already pulled the top hose off. As you can see, I've marked it top, and I've got a B for the one on the bottom. My hoses are on the way. They're not arrived yet, but that way I can go ahead and get started with the job. See how wet they are? Then I marked them down here also. B for the bottom, T for the top. So when I pull them out, I can look at my hoses and tell which way they're supposed to go back in according to that. And make sure my orientation's right. I've already removed this one. Just pulls out. You got a little clip, which I'll show you right here. That's the clip that goes in this slot right there. So kind of set the video up and try to show you how I remove the other one. May not be able to get it that good. It's kind of in a tight spot. Of course, these are the same down here. They've got these little covers. You can see that. Let's see. Got a little cover right here you have to snap off in there. Pull those up, and then you can access the rings. That's just kind of like a ring lock. Holds everything in place. So let me get back to it here. Also, another little thing I did, I didn't want to take this cable off here for the hood release. You get a little alignment issue there you might sometimes have to fix. I left those two bolts attached. A little neat thing I did, if you got any wire ties around, just kind of came up here and tied it right here. Then I wire tied it right there to the windshield wiper. It's not a real heavy item, so it doesn't weigh very much. It's not going to hurt anything to do that, but it keeps it from falling and coming down here and contacting the positive post of your battery. There's what it looks like when you can finally get a pick under there, which this is what I'm using currently. You just have to take it and kind of, see if I can get my camera set right. Just have to kind of force it under there and kind of pull up on it. But you don't want to pull it too hard. You want to just kind of get it up and unseated. because there's a potential this thing could go flying across the garage, and you'll never find this if it ever gets off of this little mount right here. So what I do next, sorry about my camera angle here, let me get this lined up here. Just gonna take it, yep, it popped back into place. But I'm just taking a pair of needle nose pliers I've got. These are kind of reverse spring action. As soon as I get that pop back up, this is what I'll use to pull it the rest of the way out so it doesn't go flying. All right, this is what it looks like pulling it out of the cooler. You have to kind of give it a little yank, maybe a little twist. You see it's starting to come out now. And you'll lose a little fluid. So have you a little pan up under the bottom of the vehicle when you're doing this. Got mine down there. That way you can see it. So next we'll be removing these lines. All right, folks, this is what it looks like when it's out. The two lines are out. That's what the ports look like here. And this is obviously where my leak was coming from on this line. Don't know that this is the only leak I've got, but it is definitely a leak. So the new line should fix that. So when we get the new lines here, I'll get started back on that. All right, guys, this is the new hoses that come in, Dorman. I believe the part, I don't have the bag right here with me. I'm sorry, I apologize about that, but make sure you get the right one for the right vehicle. So you tell them what you need. Got these from O'Reilly's. But I made sure my orientation was right. I went out there and checked my other hoses. And this is the bottom on the radiator, and this is the top on the radiator, or the transmission cooler. I apologize. So this will be the bottom, this will be the top. Went and checked it here. Got them both pushed in here. I haven't put my clips in yet. Shouldn't be too much of a task to do that. I know better than to say that before the job's done, but anyway, make sure your clips are slid up here. Clip holders, I should say. It's a little bit of a task to get that done. So you want them kind of slid forward before you get everything seated into place and have to take it all back apart. So just check and make sure I've got all that done correctly. And I'll come back and show you what it looks like buttoned up. All right, that's what it looks like buttoned up on the radiator side, or the transmission oil cooler side. That is separate from the radiator, as you can see. It's its own oil cooler, which is great. You don't have any issues with radiator fluid mixing with transmission fluid and taking your transmission, but that's what the two clip holders back on. That's what it looks like with the two clip holders back on there in the right orientation. I did double check my work. Yeah, this is somewhat the finished product. You've got 10 bolts holding this cross member in, or I guess it's a core support for the radiator is what it's called. You've got 1, 2, 3. There's one back in behind here, so that would be 4, 5, 6, 7. There's one behind here. 8, 9, and 10 is the location on all the bolts. You do have 2 little plastic rivets that need to go here. I guess that helps keep the noise down with the grill. I've got them right here. They don't fall on the floor. All it is a little push pin. Stick that in there. Push that down. Stick this one in there. Got the little pin in the center here. Push it down. Everything's buttoned back up and tight. And good to go again for however many miles a set of these Dorman hoses last. That's what they look like on. You can kind of tell they're tucked back up in under here. So everything's on and ready to go as far as that goes. I have the other video on the transmission filter change, also tagged with this one. But appreciate you guys watching. If you have any comments, definitely leave them in the comments below. And if you like what you see, subscribe. Thank you.